right, thank you for staying with Daybreak. Let's start that conversation now. I'd like to hear from you at Trevor Mbija at CitizenTV Kenya. Use the hashtag Daybreak. We're going to talk about matters of national importance and hear the youth view on all of them, plus what they suggest going forward. Let me introduce my guest one more time, starting from the lower deck. John Kiari is here, the chairperson, New Generation Aspirants Movement. Thank you for making time. Agneta Mwangali is a university student, asante for making time. Manasseh Tunen is an advocate of the High Court. Thank you very much for making time. Jared Mugendi, advocate of the High Court as well. Thank you very much for making time. Hafid Mohamud, a youth leader. Asante sana for making time. And Mariam Onkomba, next gen leader. Thank you very much for making time. So yesterday, the president was speaking to the young people, especially he was in Kayole and in Embakasi East, and he was requesting the young people to stop the protests and come and have a conversation about creation of employment and job opportunities. This is what he had to say.
Vijana hawezi kupata ajira kama kuna vita. Tunataka amani ndio tuweze kupanga mambo ya maendeleo ya taifa letu. On Monday wale mulijiandikisha. On Monday muna report kazini. On Monday muna report kazini. Nyinyi mnanielewa?
Kiari, will the young people heed the president's call to stop the protests and have a conversation on development? He says, bila amani, hamwezi kupanga ajira.
Well, that depends on whether he's going to act on our demands, because they are just as clear as daylight. You realize that the issues that take youth to the streets are so straightforward, and there's totally nothing to talk about. In fact, all we ask for is for implementation of the thing that he said he would do. And actually listening to the president, one would wonder whether really they had a plan at all, or was he even ready for presidency by the time he was being elected, given that you remember that the first thing he did when he was sworn in was to abolish kazi mtaani, saying that it's outdated and now young people needed to go into masonry and those kind of jobs. But he has now realized that that's not working. Whatever is calling the housing, whatever projects, it's not working for the young people of this country. And therefore, listening at him, one would actually, make a confused president out of him, because really I don't think he's in line. I don't really think he understands the youth, and he does not understand what our clamor is. And therefore, our going to the street is motivated by a number of things. And in fact, the president and his team is one of the motivating factors into our going to the streets, because you look at them dishing out resources, giving handouts, when actually they are saying they do not have funds for help, dishing out funds when you're being told that the healthcare system is defunct. Just looking at the way they're handling the governance matter in this country, really, he has a long ride for the remaining 2 years. Badu, Mambo Badu.
Okay. Agneta?
Okay. I don't think if the young people are going to heed to the call of stopping the protest, because, our motivation to protesting is the kind of leadership we're having, just right from the president himself. As by going to streets, then the president gives orders like you're going to shoot the protesters in the leg, the young people, of course, those are the people on the streets. That's what is angering the young people, and that's not the only thing. You see, we have a lot of issues that are surrounding us, especially with the young people. People are very idle. People have graduated, they don't have any kind of job, and they're not even sure of anything that is going to change. Because as we can see, the empowerment that is being brought to us back in the villages is by giving us 200 bob and 300 bob, and giving us motorbikes for real. A graduate of maybe engineering being given a motorbike, and you call it empowerment. A graduate of any other kind of degree or any other kind of qualification. You can't just sit back. You've struggled, you've gone through like personally, I'm just done with campus not a long time ago. You know, we expect that when we come out of university, at least we have somewhere to start from. But now we don't have industries, we don't have anything that is going on. The money that you're seeing is just, 20 million in church today, another 100 million in empowerment. But now, what about with the youths? We are not in the picture. I've not seen anyone really who is coming up with a tangible solution to the challenges that are affecting the youth. Instead, when we ask for our rights, when we fight for whatever is right for us, you find we get victimized. In fact, we are charged with terrorism, So I don't think if it's right, because we are asking whatever is ours and whatever is rightfully ours. So it's our future that is being missed, and we have to speak out. Okay. Yes.
It's interesting that you mentioned you're not in the picture. We'll talk about whether having a dialogue is bringing you to the picture, but that's a conversation coming up in just a bit. Manasseh, what are your thoughts? Does the president have a point when he says that we cannot create jobs in an environment that is fluid or violent?
Thank you, Trevor. Indeed, the president has a point in saying that, we cannot work as a country when we have violence. And that is a fact. We all should agree that, a working country is a peaceful country. And Trevor, over the last, I think about 1 year, since the 25th of June, 2024, when I believe, in my own assessment, that is the only time we had the genuine protests, that people were yearning for certain change. And it called for the president to talk to the young people. And I think at that time he joined Twitter, X platform, and he had a conversation with the youth. And the youth had their demands saying, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And immediately after that, I think the president abolished his cabinet and said, let me take a step back, analyze and assess, what do these people want? And that is the only time that, in my own belief, is that is when we had that genuine protest. What followed after that has been calls for Ruto must go. And Ruto must go is not yearning for any change in terms of employment. Ruto must go is not seeking an opportunity to be heard. Ruto must go is a call for regime change unconstitutionally. Because when you are enforcing your Article 1, power belongs to the sovereignty belongs to the people. But the same constitution provides for structures for a regime change. And that is when he says, come 2027, come with your own agenda. Tell us what you want to do to the people of Kenya. And that is now the people, if they vote you in, that is okay. But any subsequent demonstration has been destruction, has been mayhem, has been death. How many deaths have occurred since June 25th, 2024, up to now? Look at what Sabasaba did. During the Sabasaba, and I think people forgot what Sabasaba was for. Sabasaba, people, was the memory of the Sabasaba, which actually gave birth. It was the abolishment of the Section 2A of the Constitution, the multi-party law, which said, Kenya was a one-party state. But then Sabasaba turned into Ruto must go, and it has been evident since then. And there are intelligence reports that these demonstrations have been infiltrated to a very large extent. You saw what happened in Embu. You saw what happened in, I think it was Kagio. People looted supermarkets. People looted cities. You've seen what happens to businesses in town. People are breaking into businesses. People are stealing. People are being killed. Those are no longer calls for change in terms of governance. That is change of a regime. That's a call for a change of a regime. And I think there are people who have been arrested and charged with terrorism, because when you get into a person's business and steal everything, what millions of shillings, that is not demonstration. That is a terrorism act. Okay. That is violence. Thank you.
All right. Let me bring in Mugendi on this. Mugendi, what are your thoughts?
Good morning, Trevor.
Morning.
I made my bed this morning. So
that's where you always start from.
That's where I always start with. Yeah. I fixed my kingdom before I fixed the national one. It is strange for me to hear that it is offensive to have a conversation, because we think by talking. And quite surprising to hear from a leader that we are not going to talk. It is according to who? Because the only metric that determines the number of people who you represent with some level of legitimacy is to a large degree an election. So if we say we are not going to talk, we are speaking on behalf of who? Who measures that mandate that we have now assumed that we can tell people that we are so scared of talking that we can actually tell people, you know, we think by talking. And an idea for sure, when you talk, you risk being offensive. Because if we are now scared that having a conversation with the president, who some may assume may not be liked, that we have now ascribed ourselves the role of judge to other young people, what if the others defy your command? What then? What if other people decide, you know what, we want to hear what he has to say? Will they also be bad people? Is that the conversation now we are going to tell people that, you know what, everyone who went to talk to the president is a traitor? According to who? So my estimation is that as much as we are feeling the heat in many centers of our lives, for sure talking cannot be an area where we draw the line that I cannot talk to you. And I urge everyone seated here not to be scared of a conversation. We can be scared of many other things, but surely not words, not a conversation.
Okay, so you think it's time to have a conversation?
Let's talk. We always used to talk.
Okay.
In an African setup, every evening we would come around a fire and your grandfather, grandmother, your father and mother would talk to you, not because you agree with them, but because the value of talking is seeing something you may not have appreciated before, is learning, is refining your idea, is being corrected to make better, or correcting the other person in a way that they can read from where you sit and vice versa. So this idea that we are all holding, I hold my card, you hold your card, and whoever plays, we get a checkmate, does not, in my view, exist in a country that would want to move forward. And more so for us who feel like we are speaking for other people.
Okay. Afid?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. I think I will look at the President calling for, let me say, dialogue in two perspectives. Number one, I will take as a hypocritical statement. The President of this republic knows better what these young people need. He understands. He has been in this field and in this republic for, I think, longer I can remember. That is what he sold to us when he was campaigning, that he understands us, he knows exactly where the heat is, and he knows what to do. And what he sold was so spicy that time that we all felt, yes, now we are salvaged. We don't need any other person. 2 years later, he's the same person again standing somewhere and telling us, you know what? We still need to talk. What do you want to tell us? Or what do you want to hear from us? Because you already heard us on several occasions, whether it is in protests or in any other forums, you understand what these young people do need. So why can't you do? Because even if you call us a million times, we'll tell you the same thing, and you will know that's exactly what we need. That is one aspect.
Yeah.
There is a bit of truth in it also, when he said this country needs peace. But the peace, I think, is the one who is holding that card to the peace. If he only does what's needed, employ these people. It's just simple. You don't employ them, give them space to employ themselves. Empower them. Not the way my sister said, through motorbikes. And by the way, those motorbikes are very rare, concentrated in an area. there are some other regions that don't even get those motorbikes and are not even hoping to get at all. So stop bringing these rhetorics. Just go, implement your bottom-up agenda, as you said.
Okay.
Mama Mboga, I don't hear or I don't think I ever heard President or his team speak of Mama Mboga for the last 2 years, unless they are with the same Mama Mboga when they are talking. So why can't he implement? And he will never find anybody on this street if we are employed, if we are empowered, if we are listened to, if the systems are working for everyone. From not only the president, but up to the level of MCA. If that system is working, devolution is working, then I don't think we need to go to streets.
Okay.
So he knows.
All right. On Komba?
Yeah, on my perspective, I'll just say, excuse me. Whenever the country there is no peace, I don't think there is any dialogue or any solution can come for any problem. So I think the best thing is how people want to make moves. They should watch first the term of peace. In it and everything, you're told the solution is peace. Whenever you have peace, you can get the solution of whatever problems that you have. Yeah.
So peace comes first for you?
Peace comes first.
So this protest should end then?
Yeah. Or if they don't want to end it, they find our best way of going through it, not only how it is. Because now, as you can see now, the country is losing a lot in it and every time. And people, one thing they don't know, it's not only affecting us, but it's also affecting the generation that is coming behind us. That is one thing that they don't know, the concept of that taxation that is being taken by the government daily. So whenever you cost a country more than billions of money, who do you expect to come and pay for those money? It's our kid, our generation that we're coming to put. So I think they need to come up with best solutions on how to come about this Gen Z movement thing.
All right. We are getting into the conversation of the national conflict in just a bit, but let's take a quick break now. When we're back, we'd also like to hear from you. Send in your views at Trevor Mbija at CitizenTV Kenya. Use the hashtag Daybreak. We're coming back into that conclusive conversation. Let's now talk about the conclave, the intergenerational national conclave. And I see some John Kiari already doesn't want that conversation, but we'll have that conversation and see what are the issues, what are the possible solutions from their perspective, but also send in your views. We're back in just a short while.